Hey everyone, little 8-minute stretching video here. This will serve as a great warm-up or maybe something to just get the blood flow going once you wake up. But let's get right into it. So we're going to start in a push-up position on our yoga mat. From there, we're going to get into down dog. I want everyone to think of really driving through their hands, trying to depress their shoulder blades. Also, thinking of trying to put all your weight back onto your heels, stretching your hamstrings, trying to make a nice V at the top of the movement. From there, we're just going to transfer our weight forward, go into a cobra position. Now, we're just trying to work on getting as much extension in our lumbar spine as we can, trying to look up, arch my neck. Take a huge breath out, transfer your weight back onto your heels, and again, into down dog. On the left of the screen, I'm going to show a regression, just so if you're too tight and you're uncomfortable in these positions, try that. Throughout this stretching as well, try to just think of breathing through your nose and try not to do any mouth breathing if you can. Now we're going to get into a high lunge. We're going to bring one of our feet all the way up by our hands, keeping our foot straight, trying to not externally rotate our foot. From there, we're going to rotate up with the hand that's closest to the foot toward the ceiling, going into some thoracic rotation, opening up the middle of our back, the part of our spine that's in charge of rotation. Again, opposite side. My back leg is nice and locked out. That's going to enable you to get a good hip flexor stretch, as well as whatever foot is forward, really working on that glute, that hamstring. We're going to transfer our weight back, go back into down dog. Deep breaths. Most important part here, guys, we're really trying to relax the muscle fibers and just go into a big stretch, working on hamstrings here. Just take deep breaths. Down dog's probably one of my favorite positions just for loosening hamstrings, lower back, working on good overhead mobility with our hands. It's just a position that I find really advantageous after a long day of sitting. Next, we're going to get into a pigeon pose. We're going to try to bring our leg up to about a 90-degree angle in front of us. If you have the mobility from there, we'll just kind of hinge on over, put our forearms down in the ground, keeping a nice straight back, taking deep breaths. You also want to square your hips off to the ground, so try not to let your hips rotate to side to side. Same thing on the other side, deep breaths, really sinking into the stretch. I like to close my eyes here, just kind of think about either my day if I'm doing this in the morning, or think about the tasks at hand for the workout. Again, down dog. Can't stress this enough. For anyone who sits, this is a fantastic position. Next, we're going to move on to some leg slide throughs. We're just going to be in a push-up position. We're going to take one leg. We're going to try to lock it out, and we're going to bring it all the way up toward our opposite hand. This is going to give us a big stretch in our glute, as well as your hamstring if your hamstring's tight. Same, we want to think about trying to keep our hips pretty square to the ground. I'm trying to not let that back leg that's still on the mat rotate my hips too much. Now back into down dog, a couple more deep breaths. Now we're going to get into something that's a little bit more dynamic here. Now everything's got some blood flow. We're going to get into a beast hold, kind of a tabletop with our knees picked up slightly. And from there, we're just going to shoot our hips up in the air, trying to lock our legs out. Yet again, a down dog position. But this down dog position is going to have our limbs a little closer. So this is just going to make it a more intense stretch on your hamstrings. So if you cannot lock your legs out at the top here, that's okay. Just walk your feet back maybe two further inches and continue to try that from there. Next, we're just going to sit back onto our heels, take a couple of deep breaths, working on some plantar flexion here in our ankle, as well as now I'm kind of hinging over, trying to stretch my lats out overhead. Next, we're just going to lay onto our side. Now we're going to work on some T-spine rotations. So starting kind of like your, I don't know, the best way I can describe it's like cuddling your pillow at night. We're going to have one leg laying over our body onto the ground. Our bottom leg is going to be locked out. From there, we're going to try to do as big of a rotation as we can, making like a T with our upper body. We're trying to think of pinning our shoulders down here. So I want to think of trying to rotate around, get my left shoulder down. And here I'm just trying to take my hand and touch the ground as I rotate over, kind of work on some shoulder and pec mobility, just kind of opening that up. Now we're going to switch sides. Same thing, you'll see from a different angle. Doing all this very gently, just kind of waking up for the day. It's early in the morning here. Good, deep breath out, nice big rotation. And from here, same thing as you can see. Just trying to touch the ground as I go all the way around. Work on opening that pec up, opening my thoracic spine. Again, the idea here is I'm keeping my hips pinned down. As you can see, my lower back and my hips are all pointed forward. I'm not rotating from there. I'm trying to rotate from my thoracic spine, the middle of my spine. Taking a deep breath here, just going into a little bit of a glute bridge, activating a couple muscles for a few seconds before I go into a glute stretch. This one's really simple, guys. We're just going to keep one leg at 90 degrees over the other leg and just pull the other leg in, working on stretching our glutes out. Again, deep breaths here. Lastly, we're just going to get into a forward fold. So we're going to put our feet together, get into an L-sit position, and from here, I'm just going to hinge forward, taking deep breaths here, reaching as far forward as I can. Every breath in I take, I think of straightening my back out as if I'm about to go for a deadlift, and then I take a huge breath out, and I hinge forward further into flexion. And just trying to focus on huge breaths here, really trying to relax. This is our last stretch for the day. Everything's pretty warmed up. Deep breaths in and out here. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you feel loose, warmed up, ready for your day. And I wish you all the best. Let's stay fit. Let's stay healthy. Love you guys. Have a great day.